Welcome to My on Mondays, an explorative approach to the possessive my through narratives, art, and sound. Each Monday brings a new creation and unique perspective. My on Mondays is brought to you by Ming Studios, a contemporary art space and international artist residency program dedicated to the exhibition, experience, and exploration of arts and culture. Along with exhibiting artists from around the world, Ming also serves the community by hosting innovative programs including performances, workshops, screenings, readings, artist talks, and other cultural activities. For more information, or if you'd like to participate in My on Mondays, you can visit our website at mingstudios.org. Hello and welcome to the 116th episode of My on Mondays. Our featured guest today is a frequent and beloved contributor to Ming Studios programming. Rebeca Evans brings us part 3 of our theme, My Mother, My Father, Myself, with her piece, I Am a Purple Lotus. Rebeca writes the difficult, the heartful, the guidebooks for survivors. Her debut memoir in verse, Tangled by Blood, bridges motherhood and betrayal, untangling wounds and restoring what it means to be a mother. She's a memoirist, essayist, and poet, infusing her love of empowerment with craft. She teaches high school teens in the Juvie system through journaling and art projects. Rebeca's also a military veteran, a practicing Jew, a self-taught gardener, and shares space with 4 Newfoundlands and her sons. She specializes in writing workshops for veterans and those diving deep in narrative. She co-hosts Radio Boise's Writer-to-Writer show on Stray Theater and does her best writing in a hidden cove beneath her stairway. She's earned 2 MFAs, one in creative nonfiction, the other in poetry, from the University of Nevada, Reno at Lake Tahoe. Her poems and essays have appeared in Narratively, The Rumpus, Hypertext Magazine, War, Literature and the Arts, the Limberlost Review, and more, along with a handful of anthologies. She's co-edited an anthology of poems, When There Are Nine, a tribute to the life and achievements of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, released in 2022. Her full-length poetry collection, a memoir in verse, Tangled by Blood, was published in 2023 by Moontide Press.
I'm Rebeca Evans, and I'm a poet, an essayist, and memoirist, and artist, and more if you want to give me labels. And that's one of the things I want to talk about. I want to talk about these labels we carry, these roles that we play. And as a way into this conversation with you, I wanted to use a piece of art that I created. It's string art in watercolor, and it's entitled I Am a Purple Lotus. And I created this as a form of art therapy, and which I feel is really poetry on the page. And what you do is you take a piece of string, thick string, and you dip it in Indian ink, black ink, calligraphy ink, and then you just let it swirl on the page. You hover over the page and let it do whatever it wants to do. And then you let it dry and you step back after this allowance and see what image might show up for you. I feel like that is much the same way in writing poetry. And so I then filled in what images I saw with watercolor. And I initially saw these 3 women dancing, a woman in a purple dress, and then a blue dress, a red dress. And then behind these 3 women was this entity that felt maybe a little dark, or like a deep spiritual entity that was hovering behind them. Maybe it was death. I wasn't sure. And then after sitting with this for a while, I realized that the woman in front was smaller than the other 2 and had blonde hair like me. And the woman in the center took on a more masculine shape, and in blue. And I felt like, oh, this could be my father, and behind him in red, my mother. And how blue and red make purple on the color wheel, right? Or at least a form of purple. And in thinking this, like how we never get away from our ancestral lineage, who infuses us and who we carry within us genetically, but also energetically by who we spend time with and share our our love, our hearts, our anger, our bodies. So this was really a struggle for me sitting with this piece. I don't have a relationship with my mother. I haven't had a relationship with her since I was 14 when I left home. My biological father, I did not meet until I was almost a mother, in my 30s. So I'm still getting to know him, and him and I are a lot alike, but there's there's not a history in our relationship. And I spent most of my life trying to be unlike my mother in so many capacities. She was not a woman who was able to protect me. And so when I became a mother, I was determined to be everything that she wasn't for my sons. And so I was thinking about this piece as I was penning an idea about roles. And I'll just read you shortly what I've put together. I wish I could compartmentalize my roles. I'm a Jew, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a teacher, I'm a writer, I'm a gardener, I'm an artist, I'm a friend, but I am none of these. I am all of these, and all of these are all of each. I'm not a mother. Isn't a mother also a teacher and a gardener and an artist? You can not only be one thing. There is no separateness in any roles we believe we live. We do not exit the garden, seal the gate, and declare, now I am only a mother and no longer a gardener. There is no only, there's no limitation. If we allow these labels to define who we are, limit all that we are, will limit all that we are meant to become as well. We cannot become more if we believe our vessel is a container of compartments. We are not pieces of a pie. Our being extends beyond all borders, language, and yes, even thought. The challenge is that we have been conditioned towards a bottom line success story. For example, if my child graduates, if he gains a PhD, if he goes forth in the world with some level of success based on our social measurement, a success in career, some trajectory, I am then deemed a good mother, regardless of influence in his life. My mother was not a good mother. She was not capable. She limited her role to wife of an abusive man, and then she believed the lies he fed her. By definition, based on a few of my accomplishments, like, say, as a teenager, I broke the track and conference record in the 400 the first time I ran it. You could decide my mother must be good, but who gets credit? And why does credit even matter? The thing is, my mother is new. She is me, and I am her. And despite my life's work, my attempt to be as unlike her as possible, I am my mother's daughter. But aren't we all? Aren't we all mothers and daughters? Aren't we all part of one another? Reiki masters understand this, as do children before the age of what? 3 or 5, as we all once did understand this. Are we not still children? Who decided 18 was old enough to fight a war, or 21 is the appropriate age to consume alcohol, or 13 or 14 is the age of reason and bat and bar mitzvahs? If we remove the invisible walls, the lines of compartments and cultural borders, there's but a blur of human energy. The spirits collide, blend together, bleed together, dance together, hold one another. And remember, there is no you or I or mother or father or definitive role for any of us. We are all one. And we are all. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next Monday. Tune in.